Episode 445, the EU AI Office releases Frontier AI findings.
The AI 6 podcast with Joanne Sweeney.
The European Commission has published a paper which provides a clear view of Europe's place in the frontier AI race and the narrow window it sees in order to catch up. Hello, and you're very welcome back to AI 6. If you're a recent listener to the show, well, you're very welcome. There's a whole back catalogue there for you to catch up. If you've been a long-time listener, thank you, my friends. I appreciate you tuning in and your engagement. The European Commission's new AI office has released a summary of findings from more than 100 experts on what it will take to boost the EU's competitiveness, sovereignty and security in frontier AI. Frontier AI is those models like ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Gemini, Copilot. Of course, we have Mistral that has been built in France. So the report comes off the back of the first meeting of the Expert Forum on Frontier AI, held in April, and it feeds directly into the EU's Frontier AI initiative. The document is not formal policy, but it's a strong signal of how Brussels is thinking about compute, capital, talent, and access to the most powerful AI systems over the rest of this decade. The experts start with a simple point. Frontier AI has moved at what they call an unprecedented pace. In roughly 3 years, systems have gone from struggling with basic tasks to approaching the limits of what current tests and benchmarks can even measure. Market activity has followed just as quickly. Investment and deployment around frontier models have scaled up fast, but Europe's share of that activity remains modest when you compare it to the size of the EU economy. The report notes that Europe still produces world-class AI research and trains a significant share of global AI talent, but actual frontier development and the large-scale compute and growth stage capital that go with it are still concentrated largely outside the EU. Experts welcome the EU's push to enhance competitiveness, sovereignty and security in this area, but they caution that the next 1 to 2 years could be decisive. In their view, this is the window for Europe to move from a modest role in frontier AI toward a position of strength, or else risk locking in long-term dependence on overseas providers. The second finding is about what it will actually take to build frontier capabilities inside Europe. Here, the experts are very clear. Globally, frontier AI development is being driven by private investment, not just by public programs. They argue that if Europe wants a credible path to frontier AI, it first has to remove structural barriers and create attractive market conditions. 2 priorities stand out for the next 2 years: computing infrastructure and the energy needed to power it. The message is that Europe's current compute and energy systems are not yet at the scale that frontier AI requires. Beyond compute and energy, the experts highlight 3 main bottlenecks. First, growth stage capital. They see a gap in financing for companies that have moved beyond the early startup phase and now need large amounts of capital to scale frontier-level work. Second, legal certainty around training data, especially under copyright and data protection rules. Developers need clearer, workable guidance on what is allowed when training frontier models on European data. And third, attracting and retaining top AI talent inside the EU rather than seeing it move to better resourced ecosystems abroad. Given that reality, they argue the EU still needs a strong strategy for access. The goal, in their words, is to strengthen Europe's sovereign ability to access, select, control, and benefit from any frontier AI model it uses. This is a shift away from thinking about sovereignty as full self-sufficiency and more towards control over how and on what terms Europe uses these technologies. In effect, they are urging Europe to treat frontier AI less as a narrow technology file and more as a cross-cutting strategic issue, similar in weight to energy or security policy. And that would mean sustained attention from political leaders, dedicated resources, and coordination across different policy areas over the rest of this decade. The AI Office plans to group the many expert recommendations into priorities and then work with other parts of the Commission, member states, and stakeholders to implement them. It will also continue to convene the expert forum, including through further written input and targeted workshops, and publish updates on the Frontier AI initiative and any strategic actions that follow. That's it for today's show. If you're ready to turn these insights into skills, here's how I can help. Get your copy of my book, AI Playbook, on Amazon. It's the perfect companion to the show. For weekly AI strategy, subscribe to my newsletter, Human in the Loop, on LinkedIn. Or if you want to take the next big step, you can take our CPD accredited professional diploma in AI. Maybe you need something more tailored for your organisation. You can book a call in my calendar at digitaltraining.ie. Or if you work in government or public sector, go over to publicsectormarketingpros.com. If you found this episode useful, please share it with a pro that you know. And I'd love to read your comments on Spotify. And if you can, take a second to like, rate, or subscribe wherever you listen. It really helps the show. This is AI6. I'll talk to you on the next episode.